One hope can save us now. Our time for history. Brave hearts will win the day. Run strong all the way. It's time for you and me. 'Cause nothing can hold us down. On the ground, nothing can hold us down. On the ground, we can be heroes. We can be heroes. Step up, take it on, no turning from the storm. It's time now for what's to come. Together we will stand 2 feet on the ground. Let's hope now.
Match found.
For better days, 'cause nothing can hold us down. On the ground, nothing can hold us down. On the ground, we can be heroes.
Cool, let's go.
We can be heroes. We can be heroes.
Count that big bang.
Take from them what they took from me.
Spike's here.
Hey.
Yes. Hola. Still inside.
Scanning ahead.
Yeah.
Spike planted. player standing.
Clutch.
Get ready. I go fast.
No charges left. Our spike carrier is killed.
Spike down B.
Cutting their vision. Enemy spotted.
Spike planted.
Last player standing.
Watch them run when lit by my soda. That's when we strike.
Shot to death last night, and I thought of someone else. Didn't care about your life last night, at least less than about his.
Shoot them! Always
All
work!
our dreams were shot to death last night. I see the clock stand still. Nightmares touch your heart sometimes, but this is something.
Enemy spotted A.
One gunshot. And I forgot to look at you, to look at you. To look at you, to look at you. Two gunshots. And my thoughts.
Reloading.
When not with
Reloading.
you. When not with you. When not with you.
Reloaded. Coming through!
Last player standing. One enemy remaining.
Grenade! Clock ticking!
Let's go.
Feeling safe.
Enemy revealing area.
Bomb reloading.
Reloading!
take flight. Enemy tag.
Nice try. Come on. Here we go.
Right here.
Enemy spotted.
Nice! Killed it! And them. We definitely killed them.
Reloading.
Here. No charges left. My ult's not ready. No charges left.
Reloading. I got spike.
Spike down mid.
Reloading.
Revealing area.
Last player standing.
Reloading. Watch out.
Their lives are so meaningless. Might as well give them to me.
I'll show them. 𝙽𝚞𝚁'𝚒
My ult. No charges left.
Cutting
No
their
charges left.
Scanning ahead.
No charges left.
cutting their vision.
My ult's not ready. No charges left.
Eccentric.
Poison orb emitted. Spike planted. Poison on.
Last player standing.
As much as this world hurt me, it's mine, and I will kill to defend it.
Reloading.
Need a drop. Quick feet, quick trigger.
Enemy spotted.
Scanning ahead.
Spike down B.
Still back. I have the sight.
Our spike carrier is killed.
Last player standing.
Neka, don't get stuck. That's way to go.
Get no worse. I can feel it running out on me. I don't want these to be my last words. All forgotten, 'cause that's all they'll be. Now there's only one thing I can do. Fight until the end like I promised to. Wishing there was something left to lose. This could be the day I die for you. What do you see before it's over? Blinding flashes getting closer. Wish that I had something left to lose. This could be the day I die for you. This could be the day I die for you. This could be the day I die for you. This could be the day. Everything I know, everything I hold tight. When to let it go, when to make them all fight. When I'm in control, when I'm out of my mind. When I gotta live, when I gotta die. Everything I know, everything I hold tight. When to let it go, when to make them all fight.
You want to play? Let's play.
When I gotta live, when I gotta die.
Spike down A.
This could be the day I die for you.
Last player standing. Spike down A.
I have the spike.
Feeling like there's nothing.
One enemy remaining.
This could be the end. It's taken me my lifetime just to prove this could be the
I'll choke their sight.
What do you see before it's over? Blinding flashes getting closer. Sacrificing everything I knew. This could be the day I die for you.
Let's fly.
This could be the day I die for you. Everything I know, everything I hold tight. Enemy B. Let it go when I make them all fight. When I control, when I'm out of my mind. When I gotta live, when I gotta die.
Spike down B.
Like planted.
Last player standing. One enemy remaining. Clutch.
Don't worry, you're with me. Первый фраг
yakaladı arka taraftan. Sarzo hiç kontrol edilmedi. Sarzo'nun 3 kill.
He's about the flash. He still turns and hits the headshot. My God, Scream is absolutely unbelievable.
We can be heroes.
Hello everyone and welcome to the final day of VCT qualifiers where we'll be locking in the last team from Europe. I am your host 𝙽𝚞𝚁 and I'm delighted to bring back your analysts for today. It is Ryan Central and Jess. We haven't seen you since Champions. Jess, how are you doing?
Well, you know, I took a well-deserved break after the whirlwind that was Champions and the very first Champions, mind you. So it was a pleasure to be here and rather there and now here back with you guys. So I've had a break. I am back. I am ready to go, and I am ready to see who gets that qualification spot, most importantly.
You came back at the best time, Jess, right? Because now we actually get to see which, 12 teams are solidifying their space in challengers. You haven't seen the studio yet, because we've got a bit of a surprise to show in a second. So, yeah, this is a big day for two different teams that have a lot going for them, and really, it's all on the line in this best of 5.
Yeah, it is a very, very big day today. But let's have a little bit of a recap on what happened yesterday, because after all of the ups, the downs, the turmoil, G2, Ryan, they made it through after bringing back Kellogg's.
If you're G2, thank God of all of the things they had. They made it so much harder for themselves than it needed to be, but with that change with Kellogg's coming in, banning out Fracture on a consistent basis, and also just time, this team is now looking pretty concrete. It still has a long way to go, I find, but players like 𝙽𝚞𝚁, who's roofed over and accustomed himself to this Sova role predominantly, was really starting to show his stuff. 𝚑𝚐𝚒, considering that they didn't make it through the qualifiers last time, they went out to 𝚘𝚗 pretty early on. It's a good turnaround for them, but it's also a team that has had to adjust quickly to their new roster.
I was talking on Valorant the other day, and of course, yes, okay, 𝚑𝚐𝚒, NA God, he thinks he knows everything, but, and I know I'm sort of, taking a jab, but we were talking about the fact that if you're mixed well, how do you feel? If you're coming in as Kellogg's, how do you feel? Obviously, there was a quote-unquote previous rift there between 𝙽𝚑𝚗 and Kellogg's. How is that now? I mean, there were so many questions from me and G2, and they made some really sloppy mistakes, but it's clear that over time and as they're playing together more, Kellogg's is he's just come in and he's fit in just beautifully into the squad again. So I think that's just going to show that he is putting in the hard work that they need, and that's why they were able to get such a victory.
I mean, it's G2 doing the G2 things, right? They got to pick the hardest route. They got to make things a little bit difficult for themselves for them to go through. But like I said, today is the final day of qualifiers, not just in EU, but in CIS and Turkey as well. But over here in Europe, we have one very important best of 5 between 𝚑𝚐𝚒 and London United, with the winner securing that one last spot at VCT. And now you might be wondering why that is a big deal, because VCT this year, it looks a little bit different. And Ryan, it's either you're in or you're out. There's no in between. Yeah,
there's no Russian doll of open and closed qualifiers to go through. It's just the two that we've had over the last 2 weeks, because it is a league system with 12 teams being put into 2 groups, playing round robins each week, very similar to, I guess, how the LEC approaches stuff, right, in that sense. So it's not only being involved in the top tier with a lot of these teams, it's playing them on a consistent basis, getting your name out there as an organization, and also still having those dreams of attending a Masters event, going through them too. It's not just how you do on a weekend, it's how you do over a month, which I'm really excited to see how these teams adapt.
I mean, I think about league systems, I think about qualifying systems, I think about all the different systems that I've gone through even when I was a player and a coach, and now I'm sitting here and I go, actually, overall, the league system always bodes the best, is because, one, you're guaranteed to have those games every weekend, and this is going to be really good. Let's say, for example, 𝚑𝚐𝚒 wins today. That's going to be really good for them to get, that competitive experience under their belt they need as a newly formed team. For others, it's going to guarantee them that, competitive practice that they need outside of the scrims, because we know scrims don't tell the whole tale. So for all of these teams, I think this really is going to be one of the best systems, and even if it is, that single round robin, etc., whatever it turns out to be for these teams that works the best, I think this league system will grow into a really flourishing, go for them all.
Well, it's definitely going to be very exciting. But of course, the league is going to be split into 2 groups. And without further ado, it's time for all of us and the teams as well to find out which groups they're going to be playing in. And 𝚑𝚗𝚒 is standing by in the studio.
Thank you very much, 𝙽𝚞𝚁, for that one. It is time to determine the history of
VCT EMEA 2022. We see new teams, we also see a few old faces, but right now we're here to figure out how will the groups look like. And to determine that, and to figure that one out, I got some very special guests to my right-hand side. First of all, we got Charlie, who's taking care of the integrity side of things here, and we obviously got Ringers, a man you might have seen before a few times, as he is the head of Valorant Esports EMEA. Ringers, 2021 was one hell of a year. The ink hasn't fully dried yet. How do you feel about the upcoming year, all the teams that are going to participate within our region?
Yeah, you're certainly right. 2021 was a pretty amazing year. Valorant Esports overall, but Valorant EMEA in particular. We're going to top it though. When you think of the sheer number of pro players that are amazing, the teams that we have here in EMEA, it's amazing. And no matter what the group draw looks like today, I know we're going to be in for some amazing games throughout the year, and I can't wait to watch them.
I mean, EMEA teams have been on the throne last year a good chunk of times. But to pretty much explain to you what is going to happen right here, we got Charlie. Charlie, just give us a little idea. How do those rules look like when we're about to draw those teams any second soon?
Yeah, sure thing. So the teams will be drawn from one pool at a time, starting with Pool 1, followed by Pool 2, and then finally Pool 3. The drawn teams will be placed into groups in alternative order.
Oops.
Group A, then Group B, Group A, and then Group B.
Spike
until
down
all teams
mid.
within that pool have been placed. A maximum of 2 teams from each
One
pool will
enemy
be placed
remaining.
into the same group. Additionally, teams from the same qualifier cannot be placed into the same group. And that's it.
Easy as that. That's really not too difficult. What is going to be a bit difficult is going to be the upcoming season, because there's a lot of clashing going to happen. The best teams in the EMEA region are going to fight against each other. But we got some coaches to figure out who would they not like to fight against and who are they looking forward to.
The European VCT Stage 1 group draw is upon us, and I wanted to give you a few insights on how do we feel about the group draw. And the teams that we maybe would like to avoid, I think it would be the team that makes it out of the second CES qualifier, because I feel like Russians are super hard working and they're always super dangerous. But no matter what, no matter which team is drawn into our group, it's going to be unlucky for them, because we're going to come out on top.
So the team I would love to play the most is Big. For me, it's an interesting matchup between Angel and Gobi in terms of IGLing and in terms of strategies. The team I would love to play the least is probably Ascend.
We would like to see Liquid and Gambit in our group. It would be great matches, but still I think that we will go big against every team.
That is cold, friend.
Ascend prefers to rather dodge that second CAS team. Big is extremely cocky. It is going to be one hell of a year. But to once more give you a brief overview which teams we're about to see, let's take a look at our little overview that we've created for you, where we see 12 teams in 3 different pools that are about to qualify and to be drawn. In pool number 1, we have Ascend, Gambit, Liquid, as well as Fnatic, the 4 teams that got so deep during Valorant Champions 2021. Pool 2 will be Guild, Big, SMB, as well as FPX. You've seen those teams fight it out in qualifier number 1. And the final and third pool will be G2, the second team of the European qualifier number 2. That would be London versus XL. We have the second Turkish qualifier, which then would also be BBL versus Footballist. And to round it out, it is the final winner of the second qualifier of the CIS region, Na'Vi versus 5 Smokes. The great part about all of this, it's not only us 3 talking here, we have all or a few teams with us to see their reaction when we get into the group drawing. We're going to see them behind us. A few familiar faces. You might have seen some of those. Well, a lot of them, to be frank. There's also Gob, you know, there's NVS from Ascend, we got Yampi, we got Boaster, who's still looking to find a trophy, and also the guys from SMB as well. Sorry, man, I had to do that. Either way, going away from that, we have the team's reactions. We will see them throughout this wonderful drawing. And finally, it is time to get into it. Those 3 pools, we're obviously starting with the first one. Charlie, please be so kind. Pick up the cards and make it ready, because we have Ringers with the honor to draw the teams of those 2 groups. There you see the 4 teams that participated throughout Champions 2021. All of them made the playoff stage. All of them played some extremely good Valorant. And with the cards being set on the table, the honor is yours. Ringers, please. It's about to start with Group A. Who's going to lead the charge? It's going to be Gambit, Masters 3 winners, and the Russian powerhouse to lead Group A, as they are the ones who will be set just on the top of that list. Amazing to see that team right there. And this brings us, in just a second, to our second draw. Feel free. Leading Group B will be Fnatic, as Boaster still looks for, anything to find there, but he's happy. He's going to be leading the list. He's going to lead the charge of Group B. Well, there's still 4 or 5 more teams to draw in that Group B, so it's going to be interesting who we will pair up with. This brings us to team number 3. Feel free, ringers. Team Liquid will join the guys from Gambit. And that is very clear. You see it in the eyes of NBS right there, what he feels. But Yampi's like, yeah, I'm fine with that. That's cool. I'm going to take that group. No worries. As we have 2 of the 6 teams for Group A set. And this brings us to our final team. Ringers, your turn. And who could it be then? Ascent, as they are about to be sent in Group B. It might be very surprising. They didn't even expect that. You see NBS is absolutely in shock of what happened there. But, well, they were joining Fnatic, which is going to be an interesting start of the group. We have a quite fairly balanced one. We could have had both finalists in that one, but that is not the case, which makes it more balanced. And talking about balancing, Charlie, the stage is yours. Please feel free to get us those second set of cards ready. This right here, those are the teams that made it through qualifier number 1. So Big, FPX, SMB, as well as Guild. As they're going to be put on the table. We right now are about to determine who's going to join Group A, who's going to join Group B. Ringers?
1 enemy remaining.
And so we're going to start off. Gambit and Liquid will find a third team right now. It's going to be Big, as the German powerhouse joins Gambit, as well as Team Liquid. And Gob and Kundi are looking there and be like, yeah, that's fine. I can deal with that. No real problem. As they have done a splendid run for that first qualifier. I think nobody had them really there to make it that far. And as we go on, talking about making it that far, the second card, please, Ringers. Group B still look for their third, and it's going to be Super Massive Blaze. Will join Ascent as well as Team Fnatic. And those guys are so far fine with it. Taking a look at them. Don't leave him hanging. Thankfully, he doesn't do so. All right, Fnatic Ascent and Supermassive Blaze. We're already 50% through this, but there are still 2 more cards to draw from this pool. It's your turn. And this brings us to Guild. They are heading into Group B. As we have told you earlier, the 2 European teams that are played in the same qualifier will not end up in the same group. Big and Guild in Group A would have not been possible, so they're switching over to Group B, joining Fnatic, Ascent, and Super Massive Blaze. And this brings us to our final card. FPX. The momentum is building, and we can all feel it as they are joining that Group A. And Doombros is so thankful. Thank God it's not Ascent. And he's flexing his muscles there for the right reason. Group A and Group B got 4 teams for each of those. And this brings us, to our final set of cards. The final pool, the final 4 teams. As we only know one of them by now, there are a few placeholders set ready for you. G2, as well as the qualifying winners, as well as the second seed from Europe. The cards are being put on the table. The final 4 slots are about to be determined right here. Once more, Bringers, the last time. And as we're setting it ready, Group A is going to see the second team of the closed qualifier number 2. That would either be London or XL, as we're about to figure it out today. All right, we got now 3 more teams left, and this brings us to Group B, where Fnatic, Ascent, Supermassive Blaze, as well as Guild are waiting for our next team. Your turn. And the card is going to be the winner of the second Turkish qualifier. BBL or Footballist. One of the 2 will join their Turkish friends of SMB, and you see them smiling and cheering right there, being quite excited for that inter-regional duel. And so we head into the last 2 cards. One more time, please. G2. And they will be put